Good morning on this Saturday in the second week of Easter. Today's gospel is John chapter 6, 16 to 21. Remember yesterday we began John chapter 6, the first 15 verses, with the multiplication of the loaves and the fishes. And as I said yesterday, that this sign, okay, one of Jesus' signs in the Gospel of John, is a sign that looks back at Moses feeding the people with the manna in the wilderness, and also a look forward to the Messiah coming and once again feeding the people with this miraculous bread. And so we'll look at more of that discussion tomorrow. But part of the Messiah returning as well is that the Messiah is going to lead the Exodus. So these events are all tied together, just like it was in the time of Moses, where Moses leads the people out, they cross the Red Sea, and then eventually they're fed with this manna in the wilderness. So today we have Jesus once again repeating an event of Moses, but also looking to something greater. Okay, this is the arrival of the Messiah. And so now we're going to have Jesus' Exodus. And what's the important component of the Exodus? The crossing of the Red Sea. Okay, so we pick up on the story that it's evening. Okay, so dark is always a Gospel of John theme to show that God, Jesus, is not present. Darkness is also a sign of evil, again, because of a lack of God. And so now it's evening. And we notice that the disciples went down to the sea, they embarked in a boat, and they went across the Sea of Capernaum. But notice who's missing in that: Jesus. Okay, evening, dark, Jesus isn't around. And it also then tells us it already groans dark. Jesus had not yet come to them. Okay, as I just explained, the sea was stirred up because a strong wind was blowing. Okay, I can't help but to think, again, not only of the crossing of the Red Sea in Exodus, but also of creation. In Genesis chapter 1, we're told about the mighty winds, the waters blowing, that type of imagery, an imagery of chaos. Think of, if you're out into sea and there's a storm and there's heavy winds, the waters are very choppy, up and down, very chaotic. The boat's moving all over the place. You're moving all over the place in the boat. So a lot of chaos in all this. And so they're 3 or 4 miles out, and now they see Jesus walking on the sea and coming near to the boat. Sometimes it also helps to know what are the differences from the references that the gospel writers are making. So again, Exodus, crossing the Red Sea. What do we have now here? Instead of the waters parting, okay, in the crossing of the Red Sea, we have Jesus walking on water. That this person, this divine person, this Messiah, is Lord of the creation. We can say in our tradition that he is the creator, of the heavens and the earth. And so it's only natural. He doesn't need to part the waters. The waters aren't a hindrance to him. He just walks right on top of it. It's because he's Lord of the creation. Okay, so again, like Moses, but also different and better than Moses. The other difference is in the next line, that the disciples are afraid. Jesus says, "It is I, be not afraid." What were the people afraid of in Exodus? They were afraid of the incoming Egyptians. Maybe they were even afraid of, the thought of crossing over into the Red Sea. But who are the disciples afraid of now? They're afraid of Jesus. Okay? And what is the catalyst of this fear? It's what? It's God's holiness compared to our lack of holiness. God's love compared to our lack of love. God's majesty and divine compared to our weak and frail humanity. That's the fear, in all this. So just like in many parts of Scripture, the first emotion, that happens to the person who encounters God is that of fear. And so we see that being played again. But again, with God's words, it is I, be not afraid, And they wanted to take him into the boat. And so a good sign here, the disciples wanted to bring Jesus in the boat. But in Jesus' plan, whatever this plan is, the boat immediately arrives on the shore to where they're heading. So it's almost as if like Jesus he'll just instantaneously get us where we're going. We're just called to remain united to him. And wherever he is, that's where we're at, And so it's always us following Jesus. It's always us being united to him and letting him take the initiative. Okay? It's not so much as our journey, but us walking along God's journey, for us in our lives. So they get to the other side, and now we're going to get into discussion about the nature of this bread that the Messiah wants to feed us with. And if you don't know the story, it's going to cause quite a controversy. But again, that's going to be the gospel passages for this coming week, in the third week of Easter. And we'll take it from there. May God bless you and enjoy your weekend.